Alright guys, how we doing? AndyKapt20, just another cheeky wee video. This one's going to be a bit different. We've got a kind of guest, if you want to put it like that. We've got Marc Dunlop, full official name Marc Dunlop, and he's going to do a wee kind of walkthrough of his course. It's a different setup to what I normally do, because normally you just see me whack balls about the course and I talk absolute crap. But I've already played this round and both of us are going to be watching it back. I know what my score is, Mark knows what my score is. It's probably one of my better rounds, so that's kind of why I'm showing it. I'm not telling him it took me roughly about 8 times to actually do it, but we'll leave it there. But so Mark, if you can just give us a wee introduction about your course and just the name of it, what made you make it, like why is it here?
Aye, cool. Thanks, thanks, Andy. It's great to be on your. Well, I will be on your channel in the future, with my course, and you've done some amazing videos so far, and thanks, you're doing great.
Obviously, I never paid him to say that, but I mean, he's getting money now. Basically, he's getting money.
Aye, that'll be wired into the account by next week. So it was my first course. To be fair, I was like. I was explaining to Andy, to yourself, I never really, I stopped gaming, and then just before last Christmas I ended up getting myself an Xbox, and I played some of the kind of like childish kind of games, I was playing like Fortnite. Well, I still play that now and again.
I've got to, obviously. Are you a Minecraft fan? Do you play Minecraft?
No, I don't.
You need to get Minecraft.
I believe that's... My Wayne's play Minecraft as well.
And if anybody walks in and Minecraft's on, I throw them the controller and I'm like, look, yous were playing. But honest to God, it's brilliant. See when you get involved with TNT and you just start blowing stuff up. I've basically blown their map. Sometimes when they've spent all day building something, they've built a house, a castle, whatever it is, I'll go in and I'll destroy it at night, and I blame it on what they called, the bad folk, the critters or whatever they are.
I don't know.
I blame it on them, and they go off their nut, but it's good. Do you play golf in real life though, or is this just what you do?
I'm a fair weather golfer.
Aye.
See if the weather's good and I'm alright, then I'll go out and I'll hit a few balls. But my boy's quite good. He plays. He's in different clubs and all that. He's really good. But no, I'm normally the caddy now. Anytime I play real golf, I'm in the bushes,
Aye. No, I'm the same. I do play as much as I can, but it's difficult the minute you have kids, when your priorities are out there.
I know.
And especially.
Have you played since lockdown?
No, I've not been
since the ease. No,
I've not been out. It's municipal courses we've got here, so it's like council-run courses, and they're like £15 a round, whatever it is. But you can usually go at about 6-7 o'clock at night. The place is shut up, and you can usually get about 12-13 holes in. I think they set up an honesty box, and you sometimes whack a wee fiver in here and there, but. I think I would resent paying £5 or £15 for a round now. I don't know what it is, but I'll happily pay £80-90 for a stupid golf game. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, exactly. I mean, I'm the exact same. And well, I'm for one of the. Well, it's not the home of golf in Scotland, but it's certainly the home nowadays. I'm in where Royal Troon is. So
St Andrews is overrated.
Aye, absolutely. So I've got a golf course behind my house. I've got a golf course beside my house, in front of my house.
I was going to say, there's about 5 of them all around about the kind of one area, so you must be kind of dotted in.
Oh, aye.
Aye.
Well, we've got the 3 Kunsthof ones. We've got Royal Troon, but I've never been on that. I don't make enough money to play around a golf in Royal Troon. We've got the old course, and the new Dundonald links that was used a couple of years back, wasn't it? For
that's right.
Was it the Women's Open or something?
The LPGA or whatever it is. They've done something there. Aye.
So I've got that, just a stone throw away and all. But aye, so just when you were talking about TNT, there's been a few times I've played this game and I've felt like I needed a bit of TNT and blowing up the greens,
You've probably seen that last video I put out. I've genuinely been struggling the past week or two. I really don't know what it is. I've been proper freaking out, and changing to pro clubs has kind of helped slightly. But I don't know, I've got this game on PC as well, and I plugged in the PlayStation controller and it did work. So I'm thinking about maybe maybe doing the games on the PlayStation and on the PC and playing with the controller.
Right.
I don't know. I'll try different things. Basically, I'm blaming the game for my crap playing. That's what it is.
I was going to say a bad golfer always blames the clubs, doesn't it?
Aye, I'm blaming my tools. It's my tools' fault. But, so your course is TDI Muirhead.
Yep.
It's fictional. Aye.
Aye. There's a couple of inspirations in there from my local courses. A couple of the holes and that, but I mean, I'm not a grand designer by any stretch of the imagination.
To be honest, mate, from what I seen, I was half expecting you to turn around and say you at least attempted 4 or 5 courses beforehand. Mark's actually not really ever attempted a course before. He's certainly not released one. This is his first release, and he's honestly said his first attempt. And the playability of the course was 10 out of 10. That's kind of why I wanted to feature him on doing this interview, but simply for the fact that there's a certain amount of flow you've got to put in, and there's a difference between, you'll see guys go down the designer route, you'll see guys go down the play route. I can't design, I've not got that kind of headspace. It's like snooker, you need to think 6 or 7 shots ahead, and it's kind of like the design as well, that you've got to think that it's not just about yardage, it's not just about how wide your fairway should be or where your bunkers are going to be. To actually strategically put bunkers in certain places or water hazards in certain places, or even just adding in a house here and there so it looks good, it's just another level, and that's kind of why he caught my attention. And the fact that I did play quite a decent round on his course, I thought, you know what, I'm going to showcase this. And it's not to say it was an easy course, it was just that night I was on fire. I was really on fire. And I never had the camera on me, so I could have been using a dodgy controller, so who knows. No, I wasn't. I'm not even getting into that debate. So we'll jump into the video, and we'll have a talk. As I say, I'm not playing, so this has previously been pre-recorded. The screen will look slightly different. I'm using a dodgy setup. It's taken us about half an hour to even get to this point, so I'm just going to play it for here, so I can pause it at any time. It's going to be the 1T set, which was red at a certain amount of yardage, I missed that, and my usual pin set 3. So it's firm fairways, firm greens, and what was it, normal green speed?
I think, was it medium to fast, I think?
Maybe medium fast, aye, we'll say that. So this is bringing back memories, because I tried this about 3 or 4 times, and this first hole always caught me out, because it drops quite a bit. I can't remember what the elevation is on it, but it does drop quite a bit in your landing zone for that fairway, and
it does.
You've got quite a tight pin position at the back, probably on the limit of what I would say is acceptable. You've heard me moaning about pin positions before, but you're definitely there. So what kind of, you've got the lake, you've got the trees, you've got the bunkers. What happened here? What was your thoughts?
Well, do you know, see, when I started designing the course, I mean, the kind of default setup when you're designing on the game is you've got your clubhouse, and then you've got the first and 18th tee, you know, that run together. And I basically worked it around the first and 18th. Right. I wanted the first and 18th to be the ones that maybe not the best looking, but certainly was the most stylist, or you know, the HUD, like for this one, for example, you know, you've got a sort of kind of dog leg with a pond there.
Yeah. So see, if you're playing if you designed this dog leg, did you purposely make the dog leg cuttable? Like, I've seen guys who make the dog leg so they'll hammer a bunch of trees on the bend, and you can't cut the dog leg, or you need to put a massive draw or fade on it. Did you purposely mean or make this dog leg cuttable in a way that you can just cut it out completely and just treat it like a cornered fairway or something?
Yeah, I think you had to have a really good aim. Well, not a really good aim, but I don't know if you noticed there, I had the bunker on the left and the water to the right. So it was, you know, if you didn't get a straight swing there, you were either in the water or you were in the bunker.
For our non-Scottish people, water is water.
Of course, I bet.
I do it all the time. There's a couple of things I say, like aye, you know, you say aye all the time, and it's strange because both of us are obviously Scottish. Your tree placements in fairways is absolutely top notch. There's a couple of holes after this, I think maybe the next hole as well, is you've got a bunch of trees. You've got, it's with the balls lifting, and then when it drops down again, so you've got 2 or 3 kind of problems with trees, and see if you catch one of the branches, you're stuck. You're absolutely
Aye.
cooked. And it's not just planting trees, it's what you put at the base of the trees. You've got a heavy amount of shrubbery at the base of the trees as well, which, you know, is silly things, small details, but it's that kind of thing which does catch people out.
Aye. I was just watching you there, and there's a couple, see if you get a good perfect swing on that off that tee,
Aye.
and you hit the path,
It
you
goes,
go an extra 30 or 40 yards.
definitely. I think it was this changed in one of the rounds I was playing to a 5-iron. I was playing into this green, and every other time was a 2-iron. So you do get, even if it just bounces and bounces and then all of a sudden it goes in the cart path, it's an extra 20 yards. This was a horrendous green to come into. See, with that wind, absolutely horrendous to come into, because it says it's down 9 foot, but in theory it's potentially playing quite level because it slopes up, it slopes away, and if you don't catch it right, you're off the left hand side. I do like this. You know, you can go down the left hand side. You've got the fairway carrying down the left hand side. I completely misjudged this, but I got a couple lucky bounces, and it's a good ego opportunity for this. So overhitting it's probably the best choice. I found going at the back of the green and actually playing down to the flag was the best rather than doing what I'm doing. I like, one thing I did notice about your greens was you probably my preferred green style was having reds and ambers running off the green. I don't necessarily like that video I put out the other day. I forgot I chipped that in. What a belter.
So you did. And just to prove you're not straight sticking, by the way, I've seen the lines of your...
I should have had that with your camera. I should have put your face over there. This is what I was talking about with the trees. You know, I did get caught once in this first tree and it just dropped like a stone. This was a seriously difficult hole because you can fly it with your driver, right? But the landing zone of your driver shoots off to the right. I think I'll take this back 3 or 4 clubs here maybe, and I try and drop it just in line with that tree and just let it roll down, because you've got a flat area down there. Did you design the landing zone to be quite difficult if you got somebody that was quite greedy?
Yeah, definitely. And you know, I struggled with this hole every time, because I always, as you say, it does run down the hill and it does turn to the right, and then depending where it ends up, you actually end up having a really difficult approach onto the green. It was
giving me, if I hit my driver down to the kind of flatter area, it was giving me a pitch into the green, and I despise pitch shots. I absolutely hate them. And I found this, even though this is kind of, the pin position here is really, really close to the edge of the green, I found it quite easy to come into. You know, I'm playing about, but the wind was in favour, it was running down. Do your other pin position, I only play pin position 3, but do you take full advantage of that full green on different pin positions?
I do. I think it's pin 1, the actual flag is at the very far right of the green, and it's stuck in that corner behind the tree that you can see in front there. So you really do need to try your best to keep the ball to the left, or you're really going to struggle getting it on.
That's good. You know, it's obviously using that's just trickling back down. That was probably one of my better shots out the couple of rounds that I did play. I found this quite I think I did sink this putt, but I found it quite difficult, the slope going away. But
did you find when you...
What are you saying?
I was going to say, did you find when you played it that some of the greens were very, very flat and easy, but then some were quite horrendous?
I read, I can't remember where was it, if you got these details, have you got this course advertised on the TGC forum?
Alright, no, because we spoke about that, didn't we? I think just previous to arranging this. If it was registered, is that what you're talking about? Registered?
The reason I'm asking is because I saw comments. I think it might have been on the actual post that you put out on Facebook about it. There was a couple of comments from saying it looked as if you'd given up on design, kind of, from the 14th hole onwards. And I can see where they get the comment from. I don't necessarily believe that. I don't believe that you put all your effort in at the first kind of 9-10 holes and then you kind of gave up.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, towards the end, I did find the greens to be a bit more playable, if that makes sense. Right. So there was some of them that were I mean playable in the sense that they were flatter, they were easier. And that's not necessarily a good thing. And also, you seem to have taken advantage of the brushes. There was, I think, you've got a cracking par 3, and it's literally just a round green. I think it's just a standard brush green that you've just kind of dotted down, but it is proper hard to get onto.
Yeah, well, that's exactly why I've done it. I feel some of the holes were quite tricky to get to. So on them ones, I tried to reward you for hitting the green.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think is that par 3 that's just elevated on its own.
That's it, and behind it's just a shocking a drop off. And to be honest, I did think on every round I played, I think I just got it onto the fringe at the back.
Oh really?
And that was me. I think at one point I dropped 2 clubs behind, and it just kept on going and kept going. I loved this hole. I think it's drivable, complete and utterly drivable, and each time I drove it, and each time I messed it up. Every time, I don't know what it was. Yep. It was just that wee one. I've got the wind on default here, and just that wee 1 or 2 mile per hour wind that is running is enough just to throw you off. I think if you get a fast on here, you're in the bunker. You get a slow, you're whacking the trees. You pull off an absolute belter of a drive, you're winning.
And I think this is one of the holes that's quite flat as well. But I see pin placement 1. It's right at the back in that circle. Yeah, and it is such. You can tell that it should be quite easy to get on the green, but because you've got the trees at the front to the right, and then that big bunker on the left.
It's the next hole or the hole after. You've actually got the pin set 3 tucked behind the trees, and your approach shot into the green, you actually can't get to the pin. And then the next hole after that, you've got the same. So it's not just about being able to get to the green, it's about that kind of strategy of, well, where's my best option on the green, which, I'll be honest, I didn't think I was an aggressive player until you start playing a course like this and you come up against a course, because you realise, Jesus, how often am I trying to get to that pin? When really you should be either laying up or you should be concentrating on where's the best place in that green. To be honest, see if you can't make that green in that last hole, bunker's probably the best option.
Definitely. You know, the amount of people who have helped me in this game, and they've all said the same thing, it is 9 times out of 10 you're better to land in a bunker than land in the heavy rough.
100%. Because these bunkers you can usually chip out. You know, you've not got top bunkers. It was this one here. It was heavily protected by the trees, and you'll see me going up this left side because I used to play it down the left, down the right. And if you catch the hill wrong, it is down that hill. But I was purposely playing a fast here to try and get it up that top ridge. And you see me checking the angle out because it was the winds in. Your winds in the favour for your next shot, to try and ease it in a wee bit, but I don't think I've got anywhere close than 5 or 6 foot in this pin.
Right.
But
I mean, obviously, I think some of the pins, especially like this one, obviously this is maybe the hardest pin selection on that green. But I can't remember, but it's definitely not the best.
Well, I've seen a couple of guys doing, like, they'll maybe frame the fairway or frame the entrance to a green with a bunch of trees, and I think it's good. But see if you've got overhanging trees in a couple of holes, you'll see the one, it's a kind of slim green, and there's literally trees hanging over the top of the green. And see if you don't catch them, there's that front ridge that takes you right off the front of the green. And I don't know how many times I've done it, and I think one of them actually walked away with a 10, a stroke about 10 on one of them, because it was just, I could not get up with a chip, and eventually I had to do a full power flop shot just to get up the ridge, because you're playing it for rough, and it's strategy. That's all it is just strategy. I think this might have been an okay shot. It's probably one of the only courses I would say I spent most time on, and we're trying to work out shots, definitely. Working out shots and working out what they are. Yeah, we spoke about just beforehand about kind of, did you find any difficulties in building the course? Did you, since obviously been playing the game, been playing other people's courses, when you come in and designed this, did you find anything what you maybe thought previously that was easy, that was now difficult in designing, or something you had to think about?
I think think the latter stages of doing the course was probably, I didn't realise that it would take more time, because there's a lot of the bulk stuff that you do, like you plan if it's going to be a dog leg and how wide your fairways are and where the green is, but see, once you get to the kind of latter stages, like when I had finished the kind of, let's say, a penciled in finished, and then I looked over it, there was still so much more to be done.
So how did you plan your course? Did you just wipe the slate clean? Like when you go into the designer, obviously you can take off the kind of pre-made holes, you can take off how many holes it is, you can just completely clear the plot. And did you have it either sketched out, or did you have a kind of premeditated design, or did you just literally slap down your first hole and go, this is where I'm starting?
Well, I think if I had anything premeditated in my head, it was, I wanted it to be a complete like forest. I wanted it to be full of trees, and I think that shows. The wife, Mel, my missus, when I was designing it, she says, do you fancy putting a couple of bushes in there? Because see, by the time when she was watching me, it was just full of trees. Just trees everywhere.
I'm a sucker for trees and bushes. I love the frame and the fairways and greens. I think it makes a course. It's alright having nice lakes and nice houses and that, but see, the minute you add trees in and bushes, it changes it completely, because it like, I visually, okay, you can't see the pin here, but you visually know you're going in that direction, and I think that's what really helps it. But you do a top-notch job with that. Certainly you've kept quite a natural feel. You could go absolutely crazy here with the lakes and the elevation changes and the bushes and trees, and you could go crazy with it, but I feel like you've kept it quite natural, which is nice. It's realistic.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you were talking about what did I start with, and when I did start it with the default, when I said like how much water was to be on the ground and all the rest of it. See, when it came up with a kind of default design that it generated, I thought it was all right. But see, when you start actually working on a hole, you end up moving them and changing them and changing the distance and changing if it's got a bend in the fairway and all that. So probably my suggestion to anybody that's thinking about starting to do one is, just get one generated, but then like scrap half the generation that half the default course that comes up, because you're going to do it anyway.
Aye, true. And I don't design. The only thing I design is when I made like a practice hole. I think it runs a 6,000 yards or whatever it is from corner to corner of the map. And it was just to get my distances, and that's really all I've done. So I've got a rough idea of how to change the elevations and using brushes or splines, whatever it may be. But when I had a look at the tools that were available, it just blew my mind, and I think PC designers, you design on console, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Which is a bloody challenge in itself. It's the PC designers are ripping it with these LiDAR courses and all that, and the half the job's done. I'm not taking that away for them, but I'm just going to check times. Give me 2 seconds. Right, how can I... Oh, it'll cut. It's alright that we are pausing this. I can edit this bit out. You said it runs 40 minutes and then it cuts out. Will it just come up and say disconnected or something?
Aye, and then I'll just type in the meeting ID and it'll tell me that I'm waiting for the host to start the meeting.
Right. What does it? Is there a way of telling how long this has been on for already?
With a free account, I think it comes up with a 10-minute countdown, I think it is.
Does it? Alright, ideal. Right. I would just jump in and make it as if it's just kept going. What were we talking about again? Design now.
Design.
Aye, so the PC guys, as I said, I've got the game in this. I went into the PC creator inside the computer. Definitely runs a lot smoother. It was easy to play about with different settings and build the courses, and I don't know, it seems different, but it's 10 out of 10 for merit, and what I think you've done anyway. I think you've done a fantastic job. And anybody that's thinking about making courses is drop Marc a message. I'll put his details down below if he's alright with that. His kind of Facebook and that, and give them a shout, kind of find out, if there's any inspiration you want to take for the courses, because the community for this game is probably one of the only things I would say that has kept me in the game. It's easy enough just to play a game and just go away and do your thing and design courses and get it out there and don't bother, but the community is absolutely fantastic. They can be pains in arses sometimes, fair play, and there's a lot of guys who think they know it all, but to go out and get all this valid information, this is potentially why I'm doing this, is to make sure that guys get the features that they should be getting, and also guys who don't have a clue about designing. Would you say it was easy?
No, I don't think so.
Is it as easy as you want it to be?
Aye, definitely. Aye, it's a kind of trick. It depends how much work you're willing to put into it.
Yeah. You can just build tees, fairways and greens to your heart's content, and you'll be able to play it.
Oh, definitely. I mean, anybody could go into the creator and just put in, as I say, the generic, settings, and you'll get a default course straight up. Yeah. I mean, it won't have as many trees or whatever, but you could certainly just do that and then just throw it out there. But I think you can tell.
Are you planning on doing another course? Have you got?
I would like to, but I need a lot of time to go into it.
Aye. Aye. It's like, I always say, when you're doing something like it's like reading a book, you don't really know what you're getting in for until you start reading it, but you don't really get hooked on it until the kind of last quarter of the book. It's kind of like this, you don't, and I've heard from guys who'll be halfway through making a course and they'll just hit delete. They're no feeling it. They don't feel it at all. This was I was surprised at, because see, when it first starts, I don't think I've ever seen a par 3 stroke index 1. And I'm thinking to myself, how can this be stroke index 1? The first shot I played on it, I thought, I'm going to be cocky, I'm going to drop it right at the flag with my 9 iron, I think it was an 8 iron I had. I'm going to fully loft it up, drop it down, and it came down, get a bit of spin and just ran right off that green. And I thought,
I'll be interested to see this, because this is actually my favourite hole in the whole course.
A lot of the time I was going left here, which I've went right to the pin, and it was horrendous putting, but it was actually, I think this shot as well, I think just trickles off the green and end up putting it. I think I might make this as a birdie. I can't remember, but there's a couple of times I did make it as a birdie and it was just off the green on the fringe, but I think that was probably preferred, because I think trying to hold this green's horrendous. I think it's getting it up there and stopping it is a job in itself. I think I do come off just.
Oh yeah.
The pin position was spot on, because it's just at the brow of that hill. And
you're like me, you would rather putt. I would do that. I don't like chipping. I think I mentioned that in your last stream.
Chipping. Do you? I think we were talking about what the best method was, and there was it yourself or the other guy that was in the stream actually spoke about de-lofting and things like that, and I think it was Celtic Wolf when he was on, he was talking about de-lofting, and I try that. I don't know how many times I've tried that de-lofting. I just missed that. I don't know how many times I've tried the de-lofting. It just doesn't seem to work out.
I know. I think there's a few times I've done it, and not only has my chip finished far too early, but it's actually rolled down a hill, or it's come back off the green.
And your accuracy's dropped as well. You're taking it left or right, and it's not nice. And that was my main criticism when I see people putting pins right on the edge of a green. It's alright if you've got quite a large fringe going round the green as well, but see if you're playing these 187 greens and you've got a pin this was a hole here, it's hung over. Like, that pin position was horrendous, man. You've got to drop it in like a stone, and a good couple of times I did, and it trickled right off, and it's heartbreaking, man, heartbreaking. But again, it's down to player error. That's the difference between having a slope in the middle of a green, a red or amber slope in the middle of the green, compared to a red or amber on the edge of the green. Because see, if it's on the edge of the green and you miss your shot, it's your own fault.
Yeah.
But when it's in the middle of the green or it's around the pin, you think, there's nothing I could do, and you just get frustrated and throw your controller down. I think I did overhit this just to be sure, because the one time going down there was enough. And as I said, I think it was about 10 shots in total it took me to actually eventually sink the ball. It wasn't great, but So you said there was a couple of wee glitches or a couple of wee cheeky Easter eggs that nobody's, well, I certainly didn't notice. If we came across any,
do you know? I can't remember. I mean, there's one big, massive kind of like not glitch, but creator mistake.
right?
That I can think. Sorry, there's two that I can think of, but we've not came to them yet.
Right, what hole's one of them on? I'll see if I can notice it now I'm watching it.
I can't remember the whole number, but I'll know it as soon. Because are you doing like a view of the hole before you tee off on each one?
I should. There should be the play. There should be the whatever that's called again. The flyover.
The flyover.
The flyover. It's funny doing the. You know how, I don't know. Do you watch Jim Jam? His videos.
No.
He's a Scottish guy, lives in America, but he's on PC and he spends about the kind of first 10 minutes of his video, which is hysterical, right? He plays around. My videos average at around about an hour, right? I'm trying to cut it down as much as I can, but I talk too much crap. And
that's what makes it though.
But the thing is, I can't talk while I'm playing. And it was your dad put a comment on my video and he says, I've seen some of your shots. So I think it was my video I put out. Because your dad's a Scotsman on YouTube, is that right?
Yes, Scotsman 9.
He put a comment on my video that I put out yesterday, and he says, "Oh, notice a couple of your shots, Andy. You seem to be taking elevation changes, wind changes. You're kind of lacking in the distance." And I'm like, 100%, 100%. And the only reason, because seeing I'm doing this round, I never had the cameras out, never had the thing out. I was concentrating so much on my round. And I was making sure everything was all worked out. See, the minute the camera goes on or the microphone goes on, I just turn into this blubbering mess. It's just let's talk about fishing, let's talk about eels, and I'm sitting in a hole like this for 10 minutes just talking absolute crap. This
is one of the holes here.
Is it? Right.
Yeah.
Right. Give me a hint. What am I looking at?
Left hand side. You've just missed it.
Was it the windmill?
Yeah. Wait till we see where you land here off the tee.
Is it slightly hovering? Is that what it is? No, I see that side of the green. Is that what it is? It is hovering. You could say it's kind of Icelandic and it's maybe up in some wooden stilts, but we just can't see them.
There's been a few people that's tried the course, and I've been waiting for somebody to say your windmill is really taking off.
See, when you see it like that, that's proper flying. That's not even just a wee bit. It's like at least half it. That's like a screenshot of it getting ready to tip. Never even noticed that. Never noticed.
So I blame it being my first course, and I maybe should have took extra care on where things are placed. But
I'll tell you what. There's one thing that annoys me. Is see when you see guys that put boats, there's or they put there's like one of the courses I played a wee while ago, and I think actually says, had a couple of boats in the water, but he also had a gangway that could go down to the boats, but the boats were like on the water, and the gangway was like 50 foot in the air. And
I watched that video.
I remember zooming into it, and I'm like, how in God's name are these people meant to get down to the boats? And he messaged me after it, and he was like, mate, why do you even notice stuff like that? And I says, pure bothers me. Like, give me a crap green, or give me really, really bad teeing off positions, whatever it is, but see the minute you mess up with something like a detail like that, it just drives me mental.
I mean, he's went to the effort to do it, so I mean, you could at least
do it properly. Do it properly. I think
just like me with my windmill.
I think it comes from all the fix days. If you're going to do it, you do it properly, man. So you're going to be buying a new game, I'm guessing, the 2K20.
I mean, I paid you an extra £50 to let me win that competition, but
that's what's buying the game, isn't it?
I
bloody need something.
I will be buying it. Look! There's a floating.
Also, we've got a floating stand as well. That should be shut down for health and safety reasons. My God, man, you're pointing at this. But
we're human, aren't we? And
it's character, 100%. See if you did have a perfect course, the chances I probably wouldn't be playing it or featuring it. I've got no interest in these fancy schmancy courses. I think it was Jeff Embry. It was another guy. I done one of his videos, and it was It wasn't Maryland. It was something else. Can't remember. It's an Australian guy, but he had kangaroos kicking about his courses, and I thought it was brilliant. It's just the idea. I don't know what it is. Just kangaroos. It was just brilliant, and it was the way they were looking. And it was a course I played with Stacey with her round. That was a course we played on, and she didn't really find the funny side of me talking about pure say hi to the kangaroos and all that. It's just didn't see it funny. But
how did that finish, by the way? Did she beat you?
No, she was like, no, did she beat me? Who you? I can cancel this video here. No. She was 26 over, all in all, for her first round. Right. But we did do a part two, right? We did do a part two, and she finished about 7 or 8 over, no joke.
That's alright.
We were doing it match play, and I think I was about 3 over. And see, up to the first 4 holes, she was beating me. She was on beginners clubs, and I was on the master clubs, and that was kind of the first time. That was just before I shut the videos down. I think that was one of my reasons for shutting the videos down, to be honest, was that I found the clubs that bad that my wife was really beating me. That I'm blaming it on that anyway, but I think she was about 7 or 8 over. She played brilliant, but she just didn't care, you know. She's just like, whatever, and just I'm like, Stace, man, that was a good show. But I've not put the video out because I've got a minimum reputation, and I kind of want to keep it.
Oh, you need to put it out.
No, yeah, we'll do another one. We'll do another one where she's horrendous and I'm playing amazing. There was a stream of pars on this one. I found this section quite difficult. This hole especially, I found quite.
What did you think of this hole? Because I hate it.
Why do you hate it? I'm not saying I hate it, but why do you hate it?
I tried to make it. Well, the tee shot, right? I mean, I don't mind that because it is quite difficult with the bunker right next to where your tee's going to land, kind of thing. But I think it was probably the last hole that I'd done. And I just thought to myself, right, I ran out of creative ideas. I'll just make a runway and put a bunker down. That's genuinely how that hole was made. Right, it's just it lacks so much commitment, and it's like, you know, it's like the run to the litter, if you like.
Aye, well, you can see the green. You've maximised the brush or whatever, the big round brush, and dotted it down. What I did find was that's okay, that shot. I can see how you get caught up in the bunkers, especially if you get a bit of wind as well, because it goes down and you get a wee bit put off with how far is it going to clear the bunkers. It was this shot, because I was thinking to myself, I'm going to make that no bother, right? And I can see that you've got that bunker running across the fairway. I think I did make it up, but it's not beneficial to make it up onto the green, because what I didn't realise is I'm going to be left with a 60-foot, 70-foot putt, rather than playing it a wee bit shorter and taking a flop shot or banging a solid chip into the green. Okay, yeah.
So you made this?
What's that?
You made this?
No, I have made it on before, but it trickled onto the front of the green.
Oh, okay.
And I was left with a putt. And I know some folk will happily take out their flop shot and ding it, but this is where I was stuck, you know, because I'm in between clubs, and realistically I should have laid up before that bunker and taken a full lob wedge shot into that, 100%. Do your pin positions go around that green, I'm guessing? Have you got any pins at the front of this?
I've got one kind of centre front, not too far forward, but
that would drive me mental, because that's me thinking I can make this. I'm 100% going to make that. Yeah, and then
I always lay it up.
Aye. So now, if I was playing it again, and to be honest, the 2 or 3 times I got to this stage, I did play it, and I think one of them went on the green, and automatically had that in my head, I can make this green. I think I'm.
There's a couple of holes like that.
Aye, you've got you mentioned about the runway. Excuse me. You've got another hole where it's pretty straight, and then it goes right down to I think it's heavily downhill, and it goes down to a green as well. You've got. I know I talk quite a lot about it, but do you know the Isle Arran at all? Been at Troon? You know where it is, obviously, but have you ever been?
Yeah. I've been once.
Right. They've got like 12 golf courses or something, 8, 9 or 12, I can't remember, I'm saying 12, but I think it's only about 8 courses. One of them's Lumlash, which is kind of one of the main places in the island, and it basically runs in a gully, so the first nine's on the kind of left hand side of the gully, the back nine's on the right hand side, so basically every fairway runs at about a 40 degree off, and some of the shots you're playing so far downhill it's basically just playing off a cliff. This is what I kind of got that feeling of Lumlash playing your course. You had a lot of these kind of hidden pin positions, and it felt as if you didn't catch the fairway right, it was running off.
Yeah, you're right.
A lot of guys miss out on putting elevation changes on fairways, and I think you've done it right, because your landing zone can flick the ball off onto the rough, and a lot of guys do miss that out.
I love this hole. Do you reach the green on this hole?
I don't think so. I've spent a lot longer than I normally do on it. Do you? I normally pro or masters course you play with?
Pro.
So did you design this course around pro distances, or?
Yeah.
Aye. I did.
See, that's a great shot. Oh wait, is it good to go over? No,
it doesn't go over. It stays in the green. God's sake. I can't honestly remember it, but I'm just waiting for it to trickle off. And the minute I knew it wasn't, I'm like, nah, it was a good shot. I think I make this. I do think, because I think it's only about a touch or two to the left, which I was really happy with, because another foot of whatever forward it was gubbed. I do. Aye. Yes, look at that. Is that a cheeky eagle?
That was so. I think that's your second.
A wee Eddie the Eagle. That was. I genuinely, I did play all right in this round. I was happy with it. I think I actually posted this up, as I said to you before, is my best official round.
Here's the par 3 you were talking about.
This is it. Aye, it's just that pin position as well. You've got to go for it. But even, I think that's what your dad was mentioning as well, is to concentrate on the amount of rollout. Realistically, if I landed that just at the brow of that red slope, I think that's maybe where I did land. Unless you control your golf ball, it's off again. It's 10 out of 10, and I think this might have been one that you maybe just threw together, but it's worked out brilliantly. No,
do you want to know how this one came together?
Talk to me.
Right from the word go, when I was creating the course, Mel told me she wanted an elevated green. Now she's sitting across me and she's hearing me now, and she's denying it, right? But she's talking rubbish.
Right.
All the way through designing this, she says, "Oh, you need to do a green, an elevated green," and all the rest of it. So by the time I got to hole 15, I thought, right, I'm going to give her what she wants.
So, but
she doesn't play the game. She doesn't play it.
No, but you've got to, in your relationship, you've got to gear at least one thing. So I'm pretty poor at most things, so I thought, right, I'll give her this then. Oh, you missed that. Right. Keep talking. It's alright.
But see that hole, see if you hit that ball and it goes to either the left, the right or the back, you're looking at a double bogey. Because I've been there and it's so difficult to get back onto that green.
And the distance your fringe, your width of your fringe is like inches, and any ball speed just goes straight off. Yeah.
And if you are feeling a bit, well, if you don't want to risk going straight for the hole, the best place to aim is the front of it, because see, even if you roll down that wee ledge, you've got a decent chip to get close to the hole.
There's no point in telling me now, is there? I've already played my round. I'll tell you what, this hole scunnered me. Absolutely scunnered me, because I took my driver at one of the shots. I think I lay up right down here. I think I realised I'm probably better taking it down. Why was I aiming that far over?
I've got no idea. I was about to ask.
I wanted it to clear the water. I wanted to be in that side. I was looking at how flat it is there compared to there, and then I decided I'm probably better just playing here. But I took my driver out once, and I just got the rough before the green, and then I realised I've not got enough green to land it with. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to play this just down here and chip up. And that was a horrendous swing, but it worked out alright.
Yeah, I found a wee trick to get up that hill, because I play with pro clubs, and it doesn't matter how many times I played that hole, I would hit the peak of that hill and I would just run straight back down.
Aye.
But there was a wee trick I found. See when I hit it, I aimed for the rough on the left, kind of next to the general public, the marquees and all that.
Aye.
And see if you land it on the rough there, you had like a perfect lob or well, I can't remember which wedge it was, but it was like a lob wedge.
Just taking it in.
Just straight over onto the hole kind of.
And that's sometimes what a lot. Certainly I miss out on. Jesus, I don't claim to be even a good player, but a lot of the stuff I miss out on is, see, when you're playing an approach shot into the green, I've started doing it a wee bit more now, zooming into the green and having a look at where your ball's going to land. We just automatically presume that greens are going to be flat and an approach shot isn't going to be affected. We don't actually look at it, and then see if we're not going to hit the green. I don't look around my scenery about my landing spot. I just think, right, there's a bit of fairway, I'm going to hit it there, and then you go off your nut because it goes off the fairway or it's all over the shop. I like when a course does that. I like when you have to think, right, I'm not going to make the green, where can I go, what's my next option? Is that floating marquees as well in the background?
I was about to say, I was going to say after the whole finish and says you missed another one. That's the only two that I could remember.
You've got me looking for them. Did you purposely do them, or did you just sit them down and went, they're standing there, that's
no, because see, when you're creating the course, initially when for instance if you want a marquee, it will stand on the grass, but see, as you move through the changing landscape, half of it will go under, and see, as soon as you start changing the height of the object, I forgot that I changed the height of it.
So, like, with that stand on the left hand side as well, is that?
I also
I'm on fire. That's it. I'm just picking it all out.
So there you.
To be honest, I think it looks a bit better standing up like that, because if you're going to have the fat folk watching the golf, get them over the left hand side.
Exactly.
That was something I was going to ask. See, crowds. Do you need to add crowds in?
Yeah.
I thought when you just put stands in, I thought crowds populated.
Yeah. The stands, the crowd goes into the stands, but any of the crowd around fairways, you have to put them in.
Right, okay. When will the crowds come in? Is that if you're playing it in a society event or something like that?
Aye. If you're playing in a tournament.
Right, I didn't know that.
It's because I don't know if you'd noticed, but there's, I think between the 17th, this is the 17th and the 18th, there's quite a large patch of grass between the two, and that's actually got loads of crowds on it, but you're also not seeing it. Yeah.
Genuinely never noticed. And it's funny because when I play society events, I always get a wee bit taken aback sometimes of the crowds, and that's probably why, because I play so much just on local rounds where I'm just playing other folks' courses. And I always wonder why they left the stands empty, but obviously you've got them there for the tournaments and things. But as far as I can remember, this 18th hole was a cracker. Is this the one you're playing the greens right on the clubhouse?
Yes.
Aye, I remember.
And there's no way you can make it. Well, I don't know. You play with master clubs. Were you able to make it for an eagle?
No. I was on the green. It took me regulation to get in the green because you lay up. As far as I can remember, you lay up just to the side of this bend in the bunker. Your next shot's totally cut off with the trees. I don't even think distance-wise you could make 635. So I was playing off with the Masters, and there was no way. But it was quite an enticing pin position. I remember it every time I played it. I always felt it was bang on for distance. I felt I didn't have to do an awful lot for the elevation or loft changes. I felt it was just spot on. But a couple of times I went in that bunker at the left hand side and it killed me. That was it. The hole was ruined.
Oh, really?
Aye, because it's that far back. It's your first shot in a par 5. You're absolutely gobbed. I think I do it in this. Or did I just... No, I just land short, I remember. No, I go in. Oh, Jesus Christ, what happens with this? Well, I know what I finished with, so I must have done alright.
Aye.
I can't remember, that's shocking.
But I mean, I've always said, see, if you do a bad tee shot, you're best doing it in a par 5, aren't you?
Oh, aye, definitely. Is that dogs or sheep or something you've got just at the right of the fairway? 100% looks like dogs. Is there dogs in this game? Can you get dogs and put them down?
No, I don't think you can get dogs. I'm sure that's deer.
But you can get bloody kangaroos and you can't get domestic dogs?
Exactly.
Shocking. So what happens when you've got open borders on it? No, I'm kidding on. 100%. Trump 2020.
Equality, where's the dogs?
Bring in the dogs. That's what I'm going to do. Everybody's all speculating what's going to come in the new game, and I'm like, I don't care, where's the dogs?
And I deliberately didn't put a waterfall in it because I thought, no, that Andy guy's going to end up.
He's going to go mental with the waterfalls. There we go. There we go. And I can't remember what course I was playing. The guy had a waterfall on the first hole, and I remember talking about it. I says, I've got a feeling this is one of these courses where, there we go, and it was straight away a waterfall. I remember that. I love this hole. Love this. This is a finishing hole, and I fully stand by. See, your finishing holes, make them challenging, but see if you want a kind of course to remember, try and make a last hole a birdie hole if you can, because guys are going to walk away thinking they've played amazing if they get a birdie or an eagle in the last hole.
And you got a birdie.
And I got a birdie, so I finished up at 9 under, which I said was probably one of my better rounds, definitely. But
that's a cracking score.
So, when did you make this course anyway? When was it made?
It was published about a fortnight, 3 weeks ago, maybe. Maybe a wee bit more. Maybe a wee bit more, actually. I've lost track of time in lockdown.
I don't even know what day it is. I'm not going to
let's say no, name it about a month ago, no more than a month.
Aye. So you've got no push for another course now?
No, I was in the middle of starting a Highland one, but I just kind of gave up there. Do you know?
Is this Woodland? Is that what you've got us on? Is this Woodland?
Yes.
Aye. I think there's Harland, Woodland, and I think the other one's Countryside or something. They kind of seem to be the most popular.
It might have been Countryside, actually.
Might have been. I think that you can usually tell with the water they've got the boundary around the water, which I think yours did. Once you start taking stuff away, they all kind of look the same, to be honest. But I'm pretty sure it's either Countryside or something else, whatever other one I use when I make my wee runabout courses. But I would definitely encourage you to go and do another one. Are the new? Is it being confirmed yet that these courses are going to be passed over to the new game?
I'm not entirely sure. I know that you can transfer your golf club courses to this game.
Aye.
You know the older games, can't remember the actual name of them. I hope so.
Aye, it would be good if it is, because I know there's a lot of time being spent for guys making courses now, and I think they were a wee bit wary. Put in the comments below if you do know for sure. I think it is. I think I did hear something. I know it's still not cross-platform, which is going to be a bit of a pain, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Definitely thoroughly enjoyed it. I think your play. There's nothing I could fault. You know, there was not, and you know I'm quite vocal with putting stuff out there when I see stuff I don't like, but it's going to drive me mental seeing these hovering buildings and windmills and that now, so I'll not be able to play it again.
See when you realise it's a Scot that's made it, people understand.
There's a few brain cells missing in the making of this course.
Absolutely. But, I mean, that's a cracking front nine, by the way. Well done in the score.
It was alright. Back nine was crap. Back nine wasn't great, but that's the last time I ever hit that much under par. I'm lucky if I'm breaking par now. I don't know what it is with the clubs. I think it's more me than anything else. But it just feels totally different. It feels like a completely different game to what it was. But maybe it was just a wee bit easier before. I don't know. But there is the debate whether or not Xbox is harder than PlayStation, and there's all that. A lot of guys will stand by the Xbox controllers.
Yeah, I've heard everybody talking about it. That I think PlayStation's got I think it's the analog stick's better.
I've not played Xbox in the game. What I have done is plugged the controller in and done it in PC, and it was horrendous. On Masters clubs I couldn't get a perfect at all. It was either slow,
really?
It was very slow or very fast. It's obviously some compatibility issue, but guys were saying there is mods you can do on it to try and kind of make it a wee bit better, but I'm not going to get into that. I don't want to.
No, and there's lots of societies that will entertain any stuff like that.
Aye, quite right. But well, thanks very much for coming on and talking crap for a while anyway, and showing us the course. It's been thoroughly enjoyable. As I say, I've done this a week and a bit ago, and it's kind of been sitting there, so it's just now able to get this. I like this setup though. I like that. It would be good if Mark's not able to see my camera because I'm doing it through OBS and that, but if he goes out and purchases a PlayStation 4, which I'm trying to force him to do, then we can go on and actually play it as a real round, which I think would be a good laugh. But
aye, but I mean, how am I meant to explain that to my society?
You can just use that for, just you stick a label on the front of it and just say AndyKapt20's console. So it's just for when we want to play games again.
Well, if you ever do another giveaway, a PS4,
PlayStation, Jesus
I'll
Christ.
buy all the tickets.
I'm a bloody student. Okay. So we'll leave it there, and as I say, I'll put Mark's details down below. Get in contact with him, ask any questions. I'll put as much details as I can. I don't think you've got it loaded on. I think we were talking about it earlier. We've not got it loaded onto the TGC. Maybe if the TGC Tours website, there should be a link, but there's not going to be. That's just for pictures and things. So that's what.
Can I give a wee shout out for my society? Obviously, you're PlayStation, so you can't get. Oh, come on.
I think I'm a charity. Sorry, mate. When you go,
no, just if anybody's looking for a society, WGT Society. They've got loads. They've got the amateur society, and then they've got the European, the PGA Tour. If anybody's looking for one, we've also got. Now, the reason I'm plugging this is because our channel actually follows you, Andy. So,
that's right. Aye, butter it up a bit.
Aye. The WGT golf channel, which has just been, it's just kind of at the foundation stage at the minute. We are going to start releasing some match plays and different tournaments and the Ryder Cup and stuff like that.
So what are these? Is this for WGT, as in the game? So you've got 2 seconds. You've got the societies, right? So the societies are called what? Yeah, these are on Xbox only.
Yeah, Xbox only. It's WGT.
Right, and then you said is there 2 versions of
that? No, they've got like it's actually got like I think three societies within WGT. So you've got the amateur society. Right. So once you obviously you reach a certain level, you then go into the tours.
Right.
So we've got another 2 societies. One's the European Tour, and one's the PGA Tour.
That's quite cool. Who manages that? Is that yourself?
No, it's, you probably know him. It's Bradley Johnson.
I know the name.
Might have heard him on Facebook.
Aye.
Him and another guy, I think he's Vice PD, his name is. And we've got this new Twitch channel for the society. We've got the Ryder Cup in August. So we've got the American players against the European players. So hopefully we're going to kind of stream that kind of stuff.
That'd be ideal. I send us over. DM me the text of that, because my memory's shocking. So, and I'll put it in the description. So you'll catch all that in the description below. I don't really know a mass amount about society, so I don't want to screw it up or anything. So I send us over.
No, it's cool.
We'll catch up. But anything else you want to give anybody else a shout out? Your missus?
No, just. No.
Sisters, you're wanting to.
No, just yourself, Andy, for the different streams that you do, and your experience in the game. It's helped me tremendously since I started, as you know, and I'm sure it's beneficial for other people. And I hope that you keep it up into the new game and stuff.
I know, I appreciate that. It's as I said, I've not been playing very long, but I'm pure blushing.
And hopefully we'll work again in the future. I think we've talked about it before, but
100%.
It might not be as easy.
Aye, 100%. Well, this is, now we know what to do here. Is this is the first kind of interview style videos I'm going to do. I'm hopefully going to try and bring out as many as I can with kind of different designers and that, and it's potentially going to be easier if they're on the PlayStation platform, but we're doing this through Zoom, and there will be, I'll get better at it. There'll be different methods in which
if your camera worked, it would be good, because I can't see you.
You don't know what I'm doing.
Maybe that's a good thing.
You don't even know if I'm wearing clothes. You don't even know if this is even a video I'm making. I could just be doing this for my own personal pleasure.
Well, I mean, I was in the bath earlier. I mean, it's an open relationship.
I do need to tell folk that story. I was streaming earlier. It was about 5 or 6 o'clock in the day.
Don't lie.
I personally wouldn't say it was normal bath time. Maybe for a 5-year-old, but Mark decided he's going to go in the bath, and he announced it. He's like, 2 seconds, I'm in the bath watching you, and I'm like, Why'd you tell me that? Why'd you tell me I'm currently streaming to somebody that's lying in the buff, and then he disappeared for about 10 minutes. I'm about to wash my tackle, and for 10 minutes I'm thinking, what was it you say? I've either got a small brush or a large tackle.
I'm either using a small sponge or I've got a large tackle. But the fact of the matter is, see, the next time you stream, Andy, I want you to keep this in mind. Folk might be sitting on the toilet doing a dump whilst you're putting on the 18th green.
I can't say
a possibility.
That's 9 times out of 10 when I go into Twitch and I watch people's stream videos. I'm doing that. I am doing something.
Exactly.
I'm putting red marks on my knees, hunting in.
So
I try and stand up and just collapse into a naked heat in the floor.
Yeah, so instead of people playing Candy Crush on their phone on the toilet, they're watching AndyKapt20.
Jesus, man, Jesus. That's horrendous. What a way to finish. What a bloody way to finish.
Thanks very much, mate.
Thanks very much, Mark, for joining. Catch you in the next video. God knows where it's going to be. Don't know when it's going to be. It'll be a video. It'll get released. No plan, and just get put out there. But thanks very much. And
it's been a pleasure. It's been emotional.
It has been emotional. It's been a ride. It's been a ride. Right, mate. We'll catch you later. See you later, guys.